this with. The scene used to be about a message in politics. If you want to go out that door, go ahead. If you want to do what this scene used to be about, then you can stay in here and we'll talk about some of the issues. Give a big hand to these guys for playing tonight. I want to thank everybody who's been here this week helping me out. All the bands, whether they're Knuckle Dust, Tirade, the Ruction Rugged guys, all the people from America. We got One Life Crew here, we got my buddy Sean, and the three lovely young ladies who put this show together. Give them a hand too. Shout out to my buddy Sean Walsh, who's here with me once again, getting me to all the shows on time. Second time in Europe, give him a hand. And last but not least, thank my buddy Mog back there, who thinks she likes it when I say she's a sweetheart. Give her a hand too. Seriously guys, all you guys, DBS, all the Belgian people, all you guys that are here. So here's the deal, right? The last couple weeks, I've been hearing a few things being said about me at shows, on the internet, in the corners, and I've been here all week. Now May asked me, and I love May to death, but she came up to me last night and said, Dan, would you do a little question and answer thing here? And I said no, and I'm going to tell you why. First of all, there's too many people. It's too much of a melee when we get into that, right? Second of all, for years now, I have told everybody, anytime you disagree with me or you want to debate with me, I am here and you can talk to me. You can write to me. I've made myself available and I'm probably one of the nicest guys in here. I would never punch you in the face or hurt you because you disagree with me, all right? 3 weeks this has been going on. For 3 weeks you could have contacted me and I sat back and I didn't say a word. I sat back and watched things being said about me, right? And I didn't really participate. So now tonight, I'm gonna talk. And I got the floor. And that's how we're gonna do it. You dig it? And before I begin, I want everyone in here who's been my friend this week and supported and helped me out, let the other people know who ain't down with what I'm about. Please, I've never done this in my life. Give me a big round of applause for what I went through this week. Awesome. So here's the situation, my friends. When I was growing up, right? When I was 11 years old, I started getting into extreme music. I started listening to metal. Quickly, I got into hardcore, punk, hip-hop. By the time I was 13, I was in a band. By the time I was 14, I was playing shows. I've been straight edge since I was 14. I've been vegan for 12 years. Now here's the deal. I don't want anyone in here to ever be afraid to talk to me because they're not straight edge. You dig what I'm saying? This is about everybody getting together. All my friends drink, a lot of them do drugs. I'm not that guy. I've never passed judgment. You dig what I'm saying? This is about everyone coming together. So having said that, I want to give you a little story about what it was like back in Massachusetts for all the young kids in here, right? I had to go to my grandmother's. And every 7 or 8 weeks, I'd go to the drugstore to see if Metal Maniacs came in, because I wanted to read about my favorite band, Napalm Death, when I was a kid. And every 7 or 8 weeks, I would walk to the drugstore, or my mother would drop me off before my grandmother, and I'd go to my grandmother's, and I'd open the magazine, so that there would be one page about Napalm Death with a picture. There was no YouTube. There was no friggin' all this crap, bands coming through, bands coming, going. That's what you had to do. Now let me tell you something else about me, right? I didn't fit in when I was a kid. I didn't have a lot of friends. I used to kick around at the mall, listening to death metal. And this music right here, this was pretty much like most of us my entire life. You guys gotta understand something. I had a bunch of little girls coming up to me up in Scotland the other night, telling me about their problems, saying, we're coming from bad homes, my father drinks, he beats me, the kids at school say naughty things, and you know what? You guys gotta understand something. Those little kids in the crowd, whether they're boys or girls or whatever, a lot of you older guys in the crews and in the bands, and I got tons and tons of friends that are in crews and bands and put shows on. I love them all, but I tell all of them, right? You may not like it, but a lot of you, these kids look up to you, and you're an older brother or an older sister to those kids, whether you like it or not. You dig what I'm saying? And you gotta keep that in mind, all right? Number 2, here's another little thing you gotta know about me, right? Because I heard a couple people kind of confused about some of the comments I make about suicide. I'm gonna tell you something about me, right? There was a show in New York City one time that I was supposed to speak at, okay? I didn't show up. I blamed it on the snow. That's not what really happened. This was about a couple years ago. I couldn't get myself out of bed that day because I was depressed and hurt about things that have been said to me. I've been going to a therapist for 10 years, and the only way I can even get myself out here to do these shows, thank goodness, is because I have her, okay? I didn't want to get out of my room, I had the shades pulled down, and I was depressed, all right? So anyone who says I don't understand depression or suicide, you got me wrong. But I knew, right, that there's always little kids that are looking for an answer, that got nowhere to go, and for whatever reason, I don't know how the fuck it happened, but I get emails every night. I got kids back home in America that I'm telling them right now, please wait till I get home on Tuesday, don't hurt yourself, I know you're getting made fun of at school, but wait till I get home and then I can talk to you. You get what I'm saying? I am on the ground level of this war, where these kids are being told that suicide is okay, and all these other horrible fucking things, and I've dedicated my life to fucking just trying to stop it. Now I got a few more things to say. I don't want to keep you out here all night, but let me carry on with this. The other thing that started happening to me, which I never expected when I started this, blows my mind when a 12-year-old girl can come up to me, a 12-year-old, or a 14-year-old, or a 10-year-old, and start telling me things that maybe they should be discussing with their mother, because their parents aren't looking after them, because their mother's had 10 different boyfriends, the father's drunk, the father's here, the father's there, everyone's hanging out at a strip club, and this kid's got nowhere to go. So she talks to me, and I do the best I can to answer their questions. Now, you know what I told a lot of these girls, right? I go, listen, guys, what the messages that are being sent to you as children are absolutely poisonous. It's poisonous. Now, I'm going to say something. You might not like the way I say it, and I know a lot of people don't, but I stand by my words, and I'm going to say it again right now. You see MTV? When you have Rihanna getting beat up by Chris Brown, and then every radio station in America and Europe supports that, when Chris Brown, you know, Boston's like a tough guy town, I guess, like fucking whatever. It's not really. When Chris Brown comes, we roll the red carpet out, and we applaud him. A guy who beat up his girlfriend. Now, I think everyone makes mistakes. He has the right to conduct his life and move on, but I don't agree with the fact that we applaud this guy. Now, if I'm a little girl or I'm a little kid and I see that, the first thing I'm going to think is, well, I guess it's okay for my boyfriend to hit me. That's the first thing that comes to mind. Now, me, on the other hand, I've done everything I can to tell these girls that that thing you see on the television is wrong. You can't go down that path. That is not right when a guy does these things to you. And somehow that's being left out of these things that are being said about me. And I've said it over and over and over again. Again, the little pill, it's always being waved in front of you, and you have to fight against it. This music was so important to me when I was a kid, and it still is, and I know it's important to a lot of you, because guys, when you gotta understand, this mic, like I always say, it's a weapon. These amplifiers, these drums, these are weapons. This music used to be something where we talked about issues, we addressed issues. Now, we're just bickering with each other, and you're gonna rip your scene into pieces if that doesn't stop soon. You dig what I'm saying? Now, I got one last issue, and I know everyone's waiting for this. And I'm trying to think all week how to address it, and I think this is kind of the proper way to do it, okay? I had a friend who I grew up with, and she's a really good friend of mine. And we were little kids, we used to like hold hands and kiss like on the cheek and all this stupid shit, right? But we were little kids, right? And we got older and we stayed friends. Well, one day in high school, see, I used to play in a band, right? And I stayed friends with this girl, and there was a song that we wrote that we played, we're like a metal band, metal crossover, hardcore, whatever the fuck you want to call it, right? I used to play the guitar in this band, okay? We recorded a song, and she said, I want a copy of that, and we used to have cassette tapes, remember that? I go, I'll make you a copy of that. Well, we were playing a show, and she came to the gig with her boyfriend. And the whole night I'm talking to her, and this kid's kind of glaring at me, and he's kind of pissed off, right? That she's talking to me. I'm going to let you guys know something. All you guys in here, there is zero chance that your girlfriend's going to run off with me. I'm not going to take your girlfriend. I don't want to take your girlfriend. The thought that any girl would ditch her boyfriend for me is ridiculous. Well, apparently this guy thought I was some type of a threat. Well, I gave her the tape, and on the way home, He was so bullshit that I gave this to her. He pulled over on the side of the road, took the tape, he threw it out the fucking window, and then he raped her against the steering wheel, and that was her first time. Well, she told me this about a few months after we got out of high school. And she knows I tell these stories. She gave me permission to share it with you people, okay? She knows that I tell this, and to tell you the truth, my mind was blown that something like that would happen. I was horrified. It changed my outlook on everything. I already hated the rape culture. Already hated it. Hated it even more when that happened, okay? And I said, I gotta do everything I can to stop this. And here I am in London, spreading the word, doing my thing. Now let me tell you something. If my good friend ever terminated a pregnancy, I would never turn her away or tell her she was an evil person or tell her to get out of my life. I'm not that type of person. In fact, the thing that I can't believe is how many girls, not only in Europe, but in America, after seeing me speak one time or shaking my hand, start telling me about the time they were sexually assaulted, about the pregnancy they terminated, about the boyfriend that beat them up. I'm flattered. I don't know what to say to that. The fact that a girl would tell me this after a few minutes, I just don't know how to react to that. I didn't plan it, but I do what I can to help these girls. I've made myself available, I've answered their questions, I've emailed them, I write back to everybody. But here's the thing, okay? I come from the old school vegan. The old days, right? And the way I think was how a lot of your old vegan bands used to believe, whether you want to believe it or not. I was there when Earth Crisis put out Destroy the Machines. I was in the crowd when they were playing with a band who no one ever fucking heard of outside Massachusetts called Blood for Blood, opening up with them. You dig what I'm saying? I was one of those little kids in the crowd, so I was there. And I'll tell you what, their views on abortion were the same as mine. Now here's the deal, guys, right? I don't support rape. I don't support domestic violence. I don't support abortion. I don't support the fact that you can tell a girl, I got you pregnant, get the hell out of my life. You know why I don't support any of these things? Because they're all destructive to women. They don't help anybody, and it's no solution. I don't like the pro-life movement. I don't like the pro-choice movement. Neither one of them are doing anything to solve the real problem, which is the fact that we're telling young boys that girls are a piece of meat hanging out at the strip club that they can use for sex. That's the real problem. That's what's going to be stopped. Now, you can call me pro-choice over the fact that I don't like the fact that there's so much rape and that girls get stuck with this problem and they should have an option out. Or you can call me pro-life over the fact that I think we've just become so casual about making babies, terminating babies, going out with this guy, going out with that guy, divorce, this happened. It's horrible. It is all horrible, and the little kids are watching this. I'm not behind any of it. Guys, Planned Parenthood, they got caught telling a pimp who said I have a bunch of girls, 14, 15, in my sex ring, child prostitution, I'd like to get them checkups and whatnot, and they did not report it. That's disgusting. I don't care what your views are on this, there's got to be some common sense on this shit, okay? People like to play the game with me, like I said, what if Dan was president? What about the girl that just doesn't want to have an abortion, doesn't want a baby? Would you make it legal, illegal? I don't care. That's not what I'm about. You can have abortion legal. It really doesn't matter to me. I'm about fighting the real problem. The pro-life and the pro-choice need to unite. Because right now, what these little kids are doing is getting them nowhere. And some of you have little brothers and sisters who are seeing this nonsense on television. And it's time to make a move against it and start educating yourself. Guys, look outside. There's surveillance cameras everywhere. It tweaks me out. What does that say about our culture? If I'm walking down the street and I decide not to hurt someone or bring harm to them, I should not do that simply because I think it's wrong. Not because there's a camera watching me. It minimizes your life. Having everything that you care about, walking down the street with your girlfriend, walking your dog, having a nice day in the park. When they film it and digitize it, it devalues your life. It's not right. There's too much devaluation of life. We do things, everything is fast food. It's quick, it's quick, it's quick, it's quick, and then on to the next thing. You get what I'm saying? Now, I'm gonna wrap this up. DBS, hopefully he's out there somewhere. I asked him to pass out those pamphlets. If you didn't get any, I got some more on my table. My website is the outlookspeaks.org. We're on Facebook, we're on YouTube, we're on Twitter. You can contact me, you can pass stuff around to your friends if you think they might like it. You can contact me if you can't find some of the links. You get what I'm saying? It's all on there, it's all on the website. Go there, check it out. This time, if you have an issue, you can write to me, you can talk to me, we can talk about it. And I want to say something. Everything I said is not directed towards any one person. There's been quite a few people that have said some weird shit about me, right? I hold nothing against those people. I'll shake their hands, I'll hug them, I'll hang out and have a laugh with them. I got nothing against everybody. Do not have all the answers. So everything I just said could be complete shit, and that's fine. But that's what this music was supposed to be about, sharing ideas. You get what I'm saying? So let me say it one more time to hopefully put an end to this. I don't support any of this shit that's happening to women. It's all damage. I'm not going to pretend like I like it, okay? A girl wants to have an abortion, I'm not going to stop it. I got nothing to do with it. But I'm going to continue to say what I got to say, and I'm not going to be okay with what we are doing to women, and I think it's all damaging. You get what I'm saying? If you want to debate it or discuss it, absolutely we can talk about it outside. So listen, right? You can go to my site. Hopefully DBS gave you guys the pamphlets. Thanks for having me here again. I apologize for those of you who came to see me speak that came before and you had to witness all this and hear myself defend myself or whatever, but when I get myself pushed into a corner, that's just how it's gonna be. But guys, listen, I'm gonna finish by saying this, right? If you disagree with me, that's awesome. Debate me. You can go out there, you can use your mind, you can use it as a weapon. I got respect for people that speak up because most people don't do nothing. They sit and watch shit and they got nothing to say and they just watch life go by. This music is a weapon, right? If you disagreed, please come talk to me. We can go outside, we can talk all night long because there's been a lot of people that talk to me and I kind of said, you know what? That guy or that girl's got a really good point, and I never really thought about it that way. But what I do know is this, guys. I've been to shows all over America speaking, all over Europe, and these kids are in a lot of pain. They're getting made fun of, they're getting bullied, and they come to this music. So if your life is as fucked up as you say it is, maybe you should take one of these kids to the side and help them out, because they might not have that kind of guidance at home. You get what I'm saying? Thank you.